Hey, what's up, guys? It's Foster from Inglês no Cru. So, I just wanted to give you a quick heads up that this is part one of a series in which Alexia and I talk about travel, one of our favorite things. So, in this episode, we talk about where to stay on international trips. And as always, if you want to really take advantage of these episodes, you can pick up the worksheets at inglesnocru.com. Ok, on with the show. Oi, fala aí pessoal, bom dia. Você está escutando o Inglês no Rádio. I am your host, Foster Hodge. This is your daily dose of English. Hey, Alexia.
Hey, Pastor, how are you?
I'm doing great. Can't complain. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm exhausted
I am exhausted. Yeah. Why are you exhausted?
because of yesterday. We took the dogs to the dog park and we had to buy new leashes, harness. What's the difference between harness and leashes?
A leash is just your normal coleira, right? But a harness is one that takes the dog by the chest, so has more straps, and when the dog is really running, it doesn't hurt their neck. It doesn't pull.
Yeah, but coleira
Mhm.
for us is everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just make that difference because like a harness you also use in rock climbing, that kind of thing, is something that really supports you.
Yeah.
And a leash is specifically for dogs.
Yeah. And it was a good day. We met new people, went to the dog park, met new dogs, amazing dogs.
Amazing dogs.
Yes.
Yeah. This podcast is not about dogs. I don't know how that started, but I think it is relevant because first, you are traveling, right?
Yes, I am.
And second, I'm also traveling. Just because I'm in the US does not mean I'm not seeing new things, learning about new ideas, meeting new people. And that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Our favorite thing, travel and dogs and food and sleeping. One of our favorite things, travel.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so today we're talking about travel, and more specifically, the difference between a traveler and a tourist.
Yes.
Okay, so two reasons I really want to talk about this. First, in my previous life, I worked for an NGO, ONG, a non governmental organization. Sometimes we say nonprofit, but I worked for an NGO in Guatemala. And the CEO of that NGO is now very famous. He has a best selling book. And in his book, one of the things he says repeatedly is said that tourists see, travelers seek. So can you translate that for me?
Sim. Turistas vêm, né?
Mm-hmm.
E os travelers, né? Os viajantes,
Viajantes
procuram,
procuram.
querem saber mais, querem participar da
Alguma coisa
experiência.
mais profunda, né? So, the real reason I want to talk about this first, I just think being a traveler is so much better. It is so much more of a rich experience. And I think anyone that's interested in traveling should focus on being a traveler and not a tourist. Secondly, for language learning, if you are a traveler, you are probably going to learn a lot more about language and culture.
Yeah.
So today I just want to talk about some of the differences between tourism and traveling and how you can just try to be a little bit more of a traveler in your travels. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Ha.
Awesome.
Ha.
Yes, it's not yes, it makes. If someone says, does that make sense? Yes, it does.
Yay.
Okay, so we just have a list of things. Some of these I don't know if I agree with or you agree with, but let's just talk about them, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so step one on the list, the difference between tourists and travelers is that tourists traditionally stay in your typical places like hotels, like a big famous hotel or the easiest, most comfortable place to stay. Travelers will look for something more local,
Like
like
hostels.
like a hostel.
Hostel.
That is the ah sound. Prato chato, hostel. Or an Airbnb, something that helps them live more like a local, right?
Yeah. In our case, house sitting.
Yeah. So we are taking it to the next level and just straight up living other people's lives, taking care of their dogs, using all of their stuff. That's a different story. But if you think about it,
It's how do I say that? Anthropological.
anthropological.
It's an anthropological experience.
Yeah. Or you could just say a cultural experience. But yeah, sure. And if you think about it, staying in a hotel, I like hotels. It's fun.
I love breakfasts in the hotels. The best part of it.
Yeah. Some hostels are doing good breakfasts nowadays. That's a strange word, breakfasts.
Breakfasts.
Yeah, you don't say that very often when you're talking about more than one breakfast. But anyway, think about it. In a hotel, let's imagine you are Brazilian, you're traveling to the US, you're traveling to New York City, and you're staying in a hotel. Who are you going to meet in the hotel?
The staff.
Staff. That is the ah sound. Cat, hat, bat.
The staff.
Yeah. You're going to meet the receptionist, the people cleaning your plates at breakfast.
Maybe someone who sits next to you while you're eating breakfast. Maybe you start a conversation, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna meet someone.
Right. In general, hotels are not places to make friends. Like maybe you have a friendly receptionist and you're like, Sarah, our receptionist, is super nice. Every time we come to the hotel, she smiles and says, how are you doing? But that's not like real cultural interaction. But on the other hand, if you're staying in a hostel, you're going to meet a lot of other travelers, people trying to learn about culture, people from different places in the world. If you're staying in an Airbnb, you're going to learn weird things that you would never learn in a hotel,
Yeah, you're gonna be inside of a house or apartment from that place. You're gonna see how it works. You have to go to the supermarket to buy food. You have to go to local restaurants to eat because you don't have everything that you need there.
Exactly. And for example, just these weird nuances. Like I remember the first time that I traveled to Spain, in the shower in Spain, obviously everything's in Spanish. So you have caliente and frío. So caliente, it says C, and then frío, it says F. In English, we have cold and hot. So when I see C, the letter C, I'm thinking, cold, but it's actually hot. So my first week in Spain, I would get in the shower and I'm tired and I would just turn the C on full blast. And it was so hot.
Yes. Or here, when you had to turn on the shower, you have to how to say that, to pull the bath,
Yeah. So a lot of times at least in American bathtubs, I don't know how international this is, but you have the bathtub, like the bañera, and then when you turn the water on, you have a little part on the bottom of the tap. How do you say tap? Grifo?
Não,
No,
é
grifo
torneira.
espanhol. Torneira. Yeah. And you pull it down, and that's what starts the water coming from the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Showers are complicated.
Yes, they are. I didn't understand that at once, and then your mom explained it to me. She was like, yeah, let me teach you.
Yeah, it's super important. I love taking showers.
Yeah.
And a shower, also great place to practice your English or any language.
Airbnb, house sitting, or hostels be our choice.
Yeah. And a lot of people are kind of afraid of hostels. If it's your first time traveling, Alexia is raising her hand right now. Again, this is audio format. It's a podcast. No one can see that. But, for example, when we went to Chile, was it in Valparaiso?
Yeah.
Yeah, we stayed in a hostel, but we had a private room.
Yes, that's what I like. I don't like the huge 20 people that you don't have a place to leave your to leave your things, and you have to sleep with a lot of people that you don't know. It's horrible.
Yeah, it depends on where you are. So most hostels in shared dorms, they say, shared rooms, they will have like a safe, like a lock box where you can put your stuff. But it depends on where you are. For example, in Portugal, the hostels are amazing, better than hotels. I love them. And in most of Europe, the hostel culture is really, really awesome. In the US, it's not so developed.
South
In
America as well.
in Brazil, I've had good and not so good experiences.
Yeah.
So in general, just look for a little bit more of a local place to stay. All right?
All right.